Hey, what's up, guys? It's WiseGuyVito here, and today having our tier list video for you guys, and this one will be on Eagle airstrikes versus the Automaton factions. Which ones are really good and which ones are not so much. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get straight into the video. So before we start, let's kind of go over the tiers real quick. S tier is these are kind of like the meta picks in my opinion. This is the meta of Helldivers 2 against the Automaton faction. A tier is above average. There might be one glaring issue with it, but for the most part, you can still run these at level 10 difficulty, no problem. You just know that this isn't like the super ultra meta pick, but it's a soft meta pick, if you will. B tier is average. It's neither good nor bad, just kind of meh tier average. C tier is below average. We'd like to see some buffs to this stratagem as a whole, and hopefully, Arrowhead will probably do something with these stratagems in this tier. And then D tier is Dookie tier. Just overall, just not good, in my opinion. They either need to see a massive buffs or just reworks in general. And that's it. So let's get straight into the video. So, Eagle napalm strike, I guess it is. It's kind of meh in my opinion. It's not bad per se. It's just I'd rather use like the Gatlin not the Gatlin Sentry, but the Eagle strafing run or the clusters way more often than I would this. As far as for CC control, it's not necessarily bad, but it's not good either. It's not, in my opinion, like an above average performance. Now fire does affect automatons pretty well, in my opinion. But I just would rather have something with one, more uses, and two, a lot more destructive strength behind it. So that's why I'm putting this in B tier. The Eagle strafing run, I do think is an S tier, in my opinion. I feel like this is way, way, way better on automatons than it is on bugs. I feel this is even better, or this is also good on Illumina as well, like S tier pick, in my opinion. But I do feel like this is more of an Eagle stratagem, more geared towards the automatons. Really good at range, can blow up fabricators as well if you get it lined up pretty well. Like you can sometimes take out like 2 or 3 at a time. It's just a really, really, really solid stratagem. So don't sleep on this. It is a very, very good stratagem. Also has like 5 uses to it, which is insane as well. With a low rearm cooldown as well, which is I think it's like maybe like a minute and a half ish. I think of what it is. It's a minute and a half or 2 minutes, which is not that long in my opinion. But it is a very, very, very good stratagem. The 500 kg I do think is S tier. It's really good against Striders. It's really good against just a placement. Has really nice destructive powers as well to handle fabricators, any type of like automaton structures. Works very well against hulks. Really good for CC as well. You only get 2 uses of it, but that's fine. It's really not like not that big of a deal. I would use these against Striders probably more often because 2 of these can kill a Strider, and if a Strider is near half health-ish, you can just use 1 of these and kill it as well. So in my opinion, it does really, really well against just clearing, CCing, and single target damage. It's just a no-brainer. The only downside to it is that it only has 2 uses, but that's for balancing reasons. But even then, those 2 uses go a long way. The normal Eagle airstrikes, I do find these to be, they're not bad per se. I can definitely be swayed on these being S tier, but I'm going to be kind of conservative here. I do think that these things are good on destroying fabricators and automaton structures and stuff like that. I think where they kind of fall flat at is that they do CC okay-ish, but like I said, I'd rather have the strafing run or even like the Eagle clusters more often than none. But these things are pretty good. You could definitely run these in level 10 and have great success with them. The Eagle clusters, I do think these things are definitely A tier in my opinion. I feel like that the clusters are better on bugs, and probably like a little bit better as well on squids. Against the automatons, they do work. Like, don't get me wrong, like they do a lot of work. But I just think that the strafing run is just that much better. You have one extra use on the Gatling Sentry. You can only use these, I believe, 4 times. And for whatever reason on automatons, I like that the strafing run, you throw it and whatever is in front of you, or like whatever it hits, like it basically in a straight line. I like that a lot better than I do the clusters, because I feel, in my experience anyways, automatons like to usually patrol in a straight line towards you, whereas bugs tend to be more, I guess, to be horizontal towards you, right? So they tend to be perpendicular towards you, whereas automatons tend to go straight at you, more parallel towards you, right? So that's why I like using the airstrike clusters more on terminus than I do on strafing runs. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section on which one of these. I could be swayed either way to like to flip some of these into S tier, but in my opinion, like, this is just my experience, I just rather use the Eagle strafing run more often than I would the Eagle clusters. The Eagle cluster is good. It has great destructive power. It can kill a lot of things, like, don't get me wrong, and it does have like a good sizable spread to it. I just feel like that the strafing run is just better for more concentrated hits for CCing rather than the Eagle or the Eagle clusters. Hellpod, I still feel like these things are kind of bad in my opinion. They just need to have a lot more consistency in my opinion. I think they need more damage. If the orbital railgun got any type of buff whatsoever to it, to where it could fire off three rail cannons at once, and these got the buff to them where, like, you could throw them out, and what you hit with these, it would die. Then I think that they would be good at that point. But you almost have to soften up the enemy with something, and then throw these out there, right? It does decent work against turrets, does decent work against hulks and stuff like that. I would not really use these against striders. I feel like that they are not really good against striders, but in my opinion, right, if I'm going to be using something for single target damage that is an Eagle stratagem, I'm going to be using the 500 kg, especially for something that I'm going to do just single target damage on. So like striders and hulks and turrets and stuff like that. I'm just going to use the 500 kg, or even the Eagle airstrike as well, because I think that the Eagle airstrike does the exact same thing, but it's not as honed in, I guess. But I think what these things need is just way more consistency still. They did give the buff to them where they gave them more consistency, but in my opinion, they need more, and also more damage. And I think that they'd be like in an A tier spot. Smokes, I don't think that these things are terrible. Like, Dookie tier needs reworks, right? I have seen people use these more often than none to actually get stuff done. But I am going to have to put them in C tier. I just think that in Helldivers currently, stealthing is just not... It's not explored. And I think there's a reason why to that, which is I don't think that you're really supposed to stealth in this game. Until they come out with either some mission types that require stealth, or enemies that they just can't see through smoke, just period, end of story, then I think that you should definitely bring these, right? Now, on the automatons, I do feel like this is better on the automaton front than on any other faction in the game, because the automatons are ranged, right? You basically just throw this at your feet, it poofs, and then you just run, right? Like, you disengage completely, rotate, like, get a better positioning and stuff like that. But I still feel like that these things, I just feel like stealth in general just needs a buff, and just give stealth something, right? I want a solid snake around the map, and I don't feel like that is a viable strat. I feel like melee is more like a pure melee build. is more viable than a stealth build right now in Helldivers. Now, again, that's just me with my own experience. If you guys think that stealth is in a great place, let me know down in the comment section, because I really like to hear y'all's opinions on stealth. But in my experience, I just don't see the kind of value that stealth has in Helldivers 2. But I would, gladly be enlightened, educate me on stealth. But this is my tier list as far as the Eagle airstrikes go, stratagems. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Tell me where I'm right, tell me where I'm wrong. Would love to hear you guys' criticisms and kind of like your opinions and your experiences on these type of stratagems. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.